Good evening to all trustees present for the annual general meeting of the Bournemouth Charter Trustees, the 21st of July 2020. I'd like to welcome Charter Trustees to this virtual meeting of the AGM of the Bournemouth Trustee and for the press and members of the public who are viewing the live stream of this meeting. I will now set out the housekeeping arrangements for the meeting. Please note that this meeting is being recorded for live and subsequent broadcast and will be published on the Council website for a minimum of 6 months. In order to ensure the meeting is managed effectively, please could everyone follow these ground rules for speaking. Only speak when invited by myself as chairman to do so. State your name before you speak if you have not been introduced by name. Some people may need to dial into the meeting and will therefore not have the benefit of the visual. Please mute your microphone when you are not speaking. If you would like to speak, please type RTS, which means, as you know, request to speak, in the instant message conversation panel on the left-hand side of your screen and click the arrow button to send. Please note this panel is visible to all parties. Where there appears to be consensus in the meeting for a motion, I will ask if there is any dissension from the motion. If you wish to vote against the motion, please type against in the instant message conversation panel. Otherwise, the motion will be agreed without a vote. When a formal vote is required, this will be carried out by roll call, asking for a response of for, against, or abstain from each charter trustee. If my connection is lost during the meeting, the Deputy Mayor will take the chair until my connection resumes. Finally, please ensure background noise is kept to a minimum as far as possible and that mobile telephones and other devices are switched to silent for the duration of the meeting. Right, we get to the actual agenda now, which I hope you've all been sent and you should have on your laptops. So agenda item 1 is apologies.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I've had apologies from Councillor Marcus Andrews, Councillor Bobby Dove, Councillor Beverly Dunlop, Councillor Karen Rampton and Councillor Tony Trent.
Are there any other messages that have been passed on via other trustees?
Chairman, can I, Madam Mayor rather, can I add that Councillor George Farquhar and Councillor Andy Jones are both in a meeting with South West Rail, which I believe they're talking to them about the lifts at Folkestone Station, and they will be late.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Anderson. Can we move on to agenda 2, item 2, declarations of interest. Honorary Clerk, can you report on any declarations of interest received?
No declarations have been received, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Agenda item 3, election of Charter Mayor and appointment of Mayoress/Escort. Charter Trustees are asked to consider the arrangements which you wish to put in place for the forthcoming municipal year. I understand that Councillor David Kelsey wishes to make a move.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can you hear me?
We can, loud and clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, trustees. It's with great sadness that I feel I have to do this. As we know, we are in very unprecedented times at this moment, and things have had to take many changes over the course of the last 6 months. Now, I feel that to carry on now, whilst the council is in a state of flux and everything has far more importance than the role of mayors right at this moment in time, and I would like to move, as it affects me predominantly and also the mayor herself, that under the unprecedented conditions that we find ourselves under at this time, and with the health and safety of all involved, that the Charter Trustees do defer the election of the new officers, mayor, etc., until the meeting that is scheduled for the end of May in 2021. And that with that agreement and that of the trustees, that all persons in position at this time do stay in post until that meeting. I have spoken with both the mayor and the deputy mayor about this, and they are both in agreement. but I will please ask the rest of the Charter Trustees to also take note of that and to support this motion. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Kelsey. Do you have a seconder for your proposal?
I believe that Councillor Green or Councillor Broadhead will be seconding.
Thank you, Chairman. Councillor Nicola Green here, if I may. Madam Mayor, do I have your permission to speak?
Of course. Please do. We've got a picture of Michael, though, on screen, so you're looking very masculine.
Yes, well, I'm afraid his voice has gone up half an octave. As I've explained, Mike and I are currently sharing a device for this meeting. Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you to Councillor Kelsey for his proposal. Certainly when the Charter Trustees were set up, none of us envisaged the circumstances which are currently prevailing, and therefore there really wasn't the opportunity to consider whether different measures might need to be made. But I welcome Councillor Kelsey's proposal. I think it's a pragmatic solution and takes us through to next year. I hope, Madam Mayor, that you would be happy with that proposal and continue to act in the terrific way that you have up until now. And should this be accepted, I wish you the very best for the remaining of your extended mayoral period. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Green. Do I take it that we will take a vote first before we discuss item 4?
Yeah, I think, Madam Mayor, if anybody else wants to contribute to the debate, happy to hear those. If not, then you could move straight to the vote on that. And if that's agreed, then you probably don't need to do the Deputy Mayor election, because it would be agreed as part of the package.
Indeed. So is there any comment from any trustee, please, this evening?
Yes. Yes, I've asked RTS. It's Anne Filer.
So we're just trying to get the conversation piece up from here. So we're struggling on this. We can't see the conversation. That's not very helpful, is it?
If you let me speak, that's just fine.
Yes, please, Councillor Filer. That'd be lovely.
Yes. Well, I want to say first of all, Madam Mayor, the things as an annual meeting, you did the most fantastic job until the lockdown began, and you were just curtailed halfway through, and it's a real shame because you missed such a good 3 months towards the end of that mayoralty, and you were doing so brilliantly. So congratulations to you. I'm sure everyone will echo that, and I completely support Dave's motion that it would be such a shame if he were to miss the first what could be up to 6 months of his mayoralty by taking over now. It would be a great shame, and then only have a few months left at the end. And it's the lead up to Christmas is just the best time. So many things happen, so many charities, so many events. So I think this is a brilliant course of action, and I completely support it.
Thank you, Councillor Filer.
Madam Mayor, can I just say, we now have the conversation up in front of us, but unfortunately we have no comments that were on before 1810. So if anybody else has put on a request to speak, could they either reinsert it so that the Mayor could see? I don't know if somebody else who's got the conversation can see that.
Just to clarify, as far as my records show, it was Councillor Nicola Green and Councillor Anne Filer who had indicated to speak on this particular item.
That's super, thanks. In that case, I'll hand back to the Mayor to move. You want to move straight to the vote? There's no other request.
Yes, let's go to the vote. I also would like to just briefly say something about the pre-lockdown period. Shall I do that afterwards, or any other business?
Let's do the vote and then do that.
Okay, that's lovely. Thank you. Fine, we're going to take a vote now of those in favour. Those are not the correct words, so could you help me, Graham, with it?
Is there anybody against? If there is, could they show the conversation bar? Please, anybody against? Anybody abstaining? I have no comments in the conversation bar, so I think we're reading that as being unanimous agreement to the proposal for the mayoral team, so that's Mayor and Deputy Mayor, to continue to serve for the remainder of this municipal year through to the following May. And Councillor Bothwick, you're happy to proceed forward?
Very happy, Madam Mayor.
Good, glad to hear it. Thank you very much. Nice smile. Thank you. Right, so we now move on to number 4. We move straight on to number 5.
Yes, yeah, unless you want to talk about your achievements.
Yes, I might as well just polish them off and get them.
Yep.
Following on from Councillor Filer, I actually sort of reflected back today to think people seem to reflect to COVID-19 at this moment in time. When I actually went into my diary since the last AGM, not the AGM, Trustees meeting, I was amazed at myself yet again that when I did list events, they flowed, and it was an opening of a nationwide refurbishment of Wimborne Road, a dedication of an evangelical Southbourne church, parlour visits from a Costa Rican student group, 13s to 19s, celebrations of charitable groups and fundraisers saying thank you for what they do in Bournemouth, invited to the parlour for an evening the Bournemouth Sea Cadets, attended the Holocaust Memorial Day at the Paul Theatre, and then a commemoration in the lower gardens the following day. Celebration of the Chinese Association New Year, the Year of the Rat, which I think is quite a lucky year actually, even though we've had this horrible COVID-19. But citizenship mornings and afternoons, 2 a day. Thank you buffets again for residents and fundraisers in the parlour. Bournemouth Chinese School celebrations in the Bournemouth Library. This was a pinnacle. It was a very special day. Signing of the coat of arms transfer in the Mayor's Parlour, which was Old English, and it was actually, I think, sent to the Queen following the signature. Again, parlour buffet, visiting Science Museum, tree planting at Hannah Levy, visit Hall and Woodhouse with the other 3 mayors from, well, in other words, from Christchurch Hall and the vice chairman of the BCP, raising of the flag at the BIC in honour of Louis Trebonwell, who is the founder of Bournemouth, and then visited his grave in St Peter's Church. Evening at Sir Optimus, where we were given our own Bournemouth toilet, and we have a picture of it, and I'm hoping to leave it in the parlour for other people to have pleasure in seeing what we actually have achieved. Visited the STEAM Hub at Talbot Heath School, I'm nearly there. Again, more thank you buffets. St Martin's School history talk, attended the chest help meetings as president, more citizenships mornings and afternoons, and I believe paper printed that we've done just under 500 citizenships just in Bournemouth, so that's some number. Opened a care home, International Women's Day, a multi-faith civic service which was held at the Reformed Synagogue, and the numbers were very well attended. Was on Hope FM, interviewed by Blair Crawford, and known to everybody who are trustees, talking about my 10 months experience as mayor to that point. Attended the Coda Fiddle Orchestra at St Peter's Church, celebrating the retirement of Jack Maguire, who was 70. One last buffet in the parlour, and appeared on This Morning, interviewed by Eamon and Ruth Holmes, following the public not listening to the government's guidelines and leaving tons of waste on our beach. Now that I have a few months ahead, hopefully coming out from lockdown, hopefully, I look forward to continuing my role as an ambassador for Bournemouth, and then will gracefully hand over to Dave come next May. Thank you. So we move on now to, we're going to take item 5. So, Charter Trustees are asked to consider if they wish to make any changes to the current representatives, Councillor David Kelsey with Councillor Lawrence Williams as the substitute, who were appointed for the 2019-20 municipal year. Or would you like to continue with the same 2 people?
If I may, Madam Mayor.
Sorry?
Councillor Kelsey, I think.
Councillor Kelsey?
Yep. If I may, Madam Mayor, may I suggest that we continue with the same people doing the same roles until next year, then we can review the entire situation at the meeting next May.
That makes great sense. Can I ask other trustees, please, if there are any comments?
So I think Councillor File has just asked for clarification. These are representatives and substitutes to the Association of Charter Trustees. Councillor File has just
Councillor Farley, are you satisfied with that answer?
Absolutely, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Then we remain in that position. Yes, thank you very much, Councillor Kelsey. So we come to agenda item 6, appointment of budget signatories. Charter trustees are asked to consider if they wish to make any changes to the current budget signatories, Councillors Lawrence Williams and Bob Lawton, who were appointed for the 2019 to 2020 municipal year.
Again, Madam Mayor, I would suggest that we keep the same if those two persons are happy and content to do so, along with the rest of the Charter trustees.
And can I ask, is that the position from both of the trustees? We'll take it, shall we?
So, Madam Mayor, I have no request to speak. No other comments. Sorry, yes, Councillor Lawton has confirmed he's happy to continue.
He's happy to continue. Fine, so we take that as read. Thank you very much. And then I would like to, for item number 7, the calendar meetings for next year. They're written on our agenda, 25th of August 2020 at 6 o'clock, 26th of October at 6 p.m, 25th of January 2021 at 6 p.m, and the 28th of May 2021 at 11:15 a.m. Does anybody have any comment about those particular dates at all?
Yeah.
No? So
Yes, please, yes. Sorry, I'm just querying, because we've had this meeting now at the end of July, do other people think we need that meeting in August?
Madam Mayor, if you're happy, I can respond to that issue.
yes, Karen, that would be helpful. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, it's Karen Tompkins here, Deputy Democratic Services Officer. In relation to the August meeting, as you are probably aware, external auditors were appointed for both the Bournemouth Charter Trustees and the Poole Charter Trustees, which requires us to do a proper set of accounts, which has a statutory deadline associated with it. That statutory deadline means that we're required to submit certain documents to our external auditors and sign off our accounts by the end of August. So that's the reason why there is an August meeting. We wouldn't have had that last year because obviously we were in our first year of operation. So that's the reason for that meeting. And just to clarify in the context of the rest of the calendar of meetings, the October meeting is an opportunity to do a mid-year monitoring of the budget position. The January meeting is the setting of the budget for the purposes of the forthcoming financial year, and then obviously the May meeting is effectively the mayor-making meeting. So if that provides any clarity on the calendar of meetings. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you there, Karen, that's quite clear. Any questions from any trustees? Thank you. Then I'll move on to the next agenda item number 8, adoption of BCP Council financial regulations. Can I ask if Charter trustees confirm the approach as set out on the agenda?
No comments coming through?
Agreed.
Anybody wishes to speak or has any points to make about the... Okay, we'll move on then to agenda item 9. Delegation to the Chief Executive as Honorary Clerk to the Charter Trustees. Do the Charter Trustees agree to formally appoint the Chief Executive of BCP Council as the Honorary Clerk to the Charter Trustees, and that he be delegated authority to act on behalf of the Charter Trustees to take all necessary actions and decisions which are not reserved to the Charter Trustees as a body?
Agreed.
No comments on it?
So everybody is in agreement, no none of those. Okay, we take that one as read. Thank you very much.
Thank you, trustees.
Agenda item 10, appointment of officers in accordance with standing orders. Do the Charter Trustees agree that the BCP Council Deputy Section 151 Officer, Dan Povey, be appointed as the responsible financial officer for the Charter Trustees?
Agreed.
Again,
Madam Mayor, no comments.
no comments. Right, we take that one as read as well. And then agenda item 11, any other business? Do we have any other business?
Madam
Chairman.
Mayor,
Sorry.
sorry, Madam Mayor, Councillor Kelsey.
Yes, Councillor Kelsey, over to you.
Madam Mayor, firstly, I'd like to thank you for hosting this meeting tonight and for agreeing to the motion that was made earlier. May I ask a slight courtesy that the unfortunate death of Councillor Parish, could we just hold a minute's silence and have it noted in our meetings that we as a group have done so?
Agreed.
Yes, of course we do. So if everybody would like to stand, please, and we'll take a minute of our time. And we're just running the clock, and we'll tell you when it starts, yeah? So we can see I'm standing.
We're ready to start with you.
Trustees, thank you very much. Thank you very much for attending this evening, and I wish to formally close this meeting. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you in the flesh as well. Be lovely. Keep up again.